And I call a member for Indi.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Colleagues, the NDIS has the potential to transform people's lives, and it's essential that the implementation is right and meets expectations. And there are many success stories of the NDIS working in my community. But seriously, the rollout is falling short of expectations for some in the community. And during August, I facilitated 2 NDIS public information sessions, one in Wangaratta and Wodonga, with the involvement of the National Disability Insurance Agency. And I will write to the Minister separately with what I've learnt. But I'd like to use this speech to highlight some of the concerns raised in these forums. There was a large turnout at both of these sessions, with constituents from across the electorate sharing their experiences and ideas for improving the NDIS rollout. So there were carers, there were academics, there were service providers, and there were interested public. Concerns were raised about the lack of qualified staff in the NDIA, which is causing anxiety and delays. The NDIS plans that did not meet clients' needs, the lack of coordination between disability and health services, resulting in clients missing out on existing therapies, and the problem of cross-border anomaly. So Albury, Wodonga, different states, organisations not talking to each other. So let me talk a little bit about service delay and NDI staffing. The cause of delay was seen as the result of a lack of suitably qualified NDI staff and the outsourcing of client and call centre services. Constituents shared stories of delay at every stage of the process, from pre-planning to planning approval to plan reviews, through putting the plans into actions. And one constituent had been waiting since September 2017 for the final plan approval for her living accommodation. And constituents relayed stories of delays of up to 12 months from when new equipment is supposed to be approved in their plan to when it is finally signed off. So the NDIA plans in many instances are not meeting client needs. People are concerned that they did not have a say in the final plan. They were advised to start using their plan, and then they had to wait for 12 months for the review. We heard clients' plans being created and approved without them having a say, and one client received her plan with the key requests removed, including an alternating mattress for her quadriplegic daughter. And she immediately requested a review of her plan, is still waiting a year later. And again, the level of staffing and staff qualifications was seen as cause of these problems. And me as a Member of Parliament sitting there listening to this, I was gobsmacked, because the problems were not that they were too complicated, they were just a matter of resources and the right people sitting down and solving it together. A lack of coordination between services, and particularly across border, was also a problem. So, for example, when there's a dispute about a service being provided by an NDIS provider or the health system, that can result in clients missing out in particular services altogether. There are also concerns that existing therapies are not being taken into account or being taken off the list of approved therapies. So a local equestrian centre had groups of children with autism and other disabilities attending riding classes, and it's been approved for therapy for many years. This has now virtually ceased since the rollout, as most clients on the NDIS do not have approval for this form of therapy and are unable to fund the session independently, and it's had huge repercussions on the actual business that was set up to provide this service. So, in closing, it's disappointing that the $2.5 million is being underspent. It's a significant level of support that's not being provided, and many of the concerns raised by my constituents stem from a lack of staffing resources. So I just have to say that I did put questions in writing to the Minister, and he answered in May, and he promised that there would be action. But in my community, it's yet to take place. But to finish, a call out to the many, many people doing a wonderful job with the NDIS, to La Trobe Community Health Service and Mary Health Service providers. Thank you for your work. To the planners, to the service providers, to the community workers at the front line, to the allied health workers, but most of all, to the families and the parents working their best to make the system work. thank you. Let's continue to make this really work for Australia because it's a great system.
I thank the member for Indi.